Welcome to Understanding Conscious Cryptids with me, Khat Hansen. I am bringing you this show in an attempt to educate you about the forgotten creatures and beings that exist alongside of us on this amazing planet that we call home. Many of these hidden beings are elusive and highly intelligent. Our ancient ancestors of North and South America knew of and understood these beings quite well. Many people are coming into contact with these elusive creatures, and they do not have any knowledge or understanding of what it is they are seeing and interacting with. This oftentimes leaves these individuals fearful and confused. It's my intention to shed some light and share knowledge through this series. I'm going to help alleviate that fear and confusion. It is time for the light to shine through the darkness. If you are interested in sharing your encounter, contact me directly at khathansen@yahoo.com, and I hope you enjoy the show.
Hi everyone, it's me, Kat. Welcome to Understanding Conscious Cryptids. Well, today we're going to discuss something that I said I didn't want to discuss again, but, well, I guess I'm going to have to. You see, here on the North American continent, we have several cryptids, and as of late, everyone seems to be talking about the Dogman. Yep, my favorite subject. And, well, I kind of got into a little bit of a discussion slash tiff slash dispute with someone who was telling me that the Dogmen were a very recent manifestation here on the North American continent. Well, me being me, I informed them that that was not true because we actually have evidence in your hand, hard to deny, factual evidence that can be dated, no less, to roughly around 7,000 years ago of a very small brass and copper mixed statue of what appears to be a Dogman. Now, of course, our standard academia has listed this being as a bear. Okay, but here's the catch. When you look at the face of this creature and you notice that, first of all, it has an enormous, I'm not kidding, enormous bushy tail attached to it. So how could this be a bear? Because they don't have tails. At least not as of recently, they don't. And you see, the funny thing about this creature is on the bottom of it are the interesting inscriptions that have been found. As near as we can tell, these inscriptions are Proto-Japanese. That means they are a form of glyphs writing that was a long time ago, that was excuse my phone, people, I'm never have any peace, that was being developed. Their writing was being developed, so they did not have any yet that was totally serious, you know. I mean, they kind of had some, but it wasn't as advanced as it should be. So on the bottom of this beast, creature, being, is inscribed something in Proto-Japanese that we have not been able to determine yet as to what it is. Now, I'm sorry, but when I look at this picture, it screams dogman at me. This being is holding small spheres, and everyone knows that we have the orblings that travel with the dogmen and the steama and the mantis. Everybody, all the different creatures and beings that come from different realms, the orblings follow with them. And these guys have been able for the longest time to make communication with the dogmen and other beings. So it makes only perfect sense to me that this is a representation of what it appears to be. It's a dogman holding the orbs that traveled through with it. Now, remember what I said the orblings can be used for as a form of reconnaissance. So these guys can go look, be the eyes of Gaia, and explain to this being what is in the immediate vicinity. Unfortunately, it just does not look like a bear to me. It has hocks and haunches like a dog. It has a face very similar to a dogman. Actually, to me, it looks almost like a cross between a dogman and a cat, you know, and cat people and dog people do not mate. So, I'm taking this one for what it is, you know. I mean, I've always told my students that if it looks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's a damn duck. Okay, so I'm not going to argue the point of something that very easily can be discovered by looking at it, you know, and seeing that it's a representation of a cryptid that was here, obviously, on this continent. Now, that being said, you're going to see some of the other cryptids that are on this continent in this video, you know, and I want people to see them because I really need people to understand that these guys have been here far longer than anyone is actually taking notice or giving them credit for. You know, like I said, this is a learning planet, a teaching planet, and if they don't have the ability to do one or the other, they're going to get into trouble. And by trouble, I mean actively hunting and pursuing human beings. You know, which is something we definitely don't want. We don't want them killing livestock. We don't want them destroying whole communities. So we really need to pay attention. These guys are not new to this continent. They've been here a long, long time, at least 7,000 years that we know of. And actually, if you study any of the prehistoric glyphs that are out here on this continent, you're going to see things that make you go, that's really interesting. Somebody's lying, somebody's mistaken. I'm not sure which, but I don't know what to believe. And if that's the case, then I want you to do like I always tell my kids. I always have told my kids and my students that if you come up against something that you don't know what it is, you need to stop right there because you're already confuzzling your brain. It's not going to grasp what you're seeing. So stop and go research. If you can research and find out what this being's attributes are, what annoys them, what sets them off, then you will have the ability to determine for yourself what these creatures are. I mean, you're already one step ahead of the rest of the people out there. Okay? And I always say, logic, people, use logic, you know, because if we use logic, we can pretty much figure out what these things are. And if Dogman has been on this continent for as long as this is suggesting, maybe even longer, then that means another reason that he is showing up on this continent now is because he figures this is his territory. He's been here all along. You know, and this can explain some of the encounters that people are having with them. You know, the pushing them down, the being hyper aggressive, the chasing, you know, destroying livestock, peeing on stuff. I mean, this is very, very, very basic dogman stuff. You have to remember they're part wolf. Okay, so they're going to do what wolves do, you know, and that is mark their territory, you know, make it so that everything around them is aware that this is their territory. Now, that being said, we have some other issues here. Because remember, I've talked about portals. Boy, have I talked about portals and driven you all crazy. But that's my goal in life. If I don't make your brain hurt, then I'm not doing my job, you know? And that's what I tell everyone. I want to make your brain hurt so that you think. Because these people nowadays are so quick to push anything cryptid away and to hide it and to shove it under a rug and get rid of it. And we can't have that. We have to bring it to the forefront and make people see that their way of cataloging and categorizing these beings is wrong, okay? You're going to see some pictures here of the red, bluish, purple, and yellow guys. These guys are actually, if you look at them, you will see that they are faces inside the different colors of orbs. I know, everybody's probably freaking out and going, Kat, you already did all that. No, I marked them so that you could see where they were at and what they were doing. Up in the sky, there are angelic beings, angelic intelligences that observe and live inside of certain planets. Okay, if you're not familiar with this, you can look this up on the internet and study, okay? These guys that I have in this picture are showing you straight out, this is where we live, this is what's going on, and this is the color I choose. Okay, well, when they chose these colors to present themselves to me, I was very quick to jump on it because I'm always trying to make records of beings that I find. Okay, and these guys just pop up, and then a couple seconds later the Sasquatch people come and they swear up and down they didn't have anything to do with these guys. I just need people to look at the pictures, because if you look at the picture, you're going to see there are actual faces in these things, okay? The same thing with the next one that I took a picture of. You know, this guy was actually morphing into our reality. Where? Oh yeah, here on the North American continent. You know, so you guys are getting my drift, I'm pretty sure. We have Fae that live here on this realm, on this planet, and have been here for hundreds of thousands of years. So for these guys out there in the Bigfoot world, in the, I don't know what you want to call it, world, the research world, that tell you that cryptids are not a part of the history of this, you know, North American continent and the South American continent for that matter, you really need to stop them and tell them, you know what, no, I can use logic, I can dictate to myself, and I can see that whatever is out there on this list is wrong and it needs to be updated. And if you guys could do that, it would make my day so much better, because that means that somewhere out there I'm reaching people and they get to understand that there are things here that need to be talked about, need to be discussed, and not swept under the rug. I know I'm kind of on a rant right now, and I apologize, but I really want to hit home with this, because I get tired of people calling me up and contacting me. Like you hear my phone in the background right now, you know, where they're bugging me. And I consider it bugging when you want to just tell me that I'm wrong and that there are no cryptids on this North American continent until very recently. You know what? You're wrong, and you need to take a step back and reevaluate your evidence, because my evidence is literally rock solid. And I don't say that very often unless I have done my homework and I have made sure that every single item that I am talking about to you guys is correct, which in this case I have done. And that being said, I will thank you for listening to my rant today. And I'm still trying to ignore the phone. I'm not going to answer any more calls today. I'm just done. 200 is enough. I just want everyone to understand that if you're going to make an argument for beings having been here for any length of time, it's not that hard to research. It really isn't, because you have all the Native American tribes here, and their histories go far, far back, you know, almost 10,000 years. So, that being said, I thank everyone for listening. I want to thank my patrons for helping me out on Patreon. Our library here is becoming pretty big. I'm actually pretty happy with it, as big as it's getting. And I love the fact that everyone writes me and asks me questions, and I try to help you all to the very best of my ability. And with that, I will end this and say thank you. And if you wish to donate, you can go to my Patreon page. If you like this channel, please hit like and subscribe. And if you know anybody who may have had a sighting or who's interested in anything that I'm speaking about, please share my channel with them. Alright, you guys, I will see you tomorrow. Thank you and have a great day.